So guys, as you saw on the dev server that we tested, this LabRAM and many other AA systems, they're not as good as we thought they would be. Of course, that was work in progress, but I have a feeling that it will be like that in the game, right? And all of these AA systems, more or less, they are inferior to the Panzer. So should we just jump straight to the heavy hitters, something like the Patriot? Well, let's try to answer this question today, right? So what is, first of all, the Patriot? The Patriot system is one of the main systems of heavy AA systems that US actually built, and it is used by many nations, like many nations. Israel used, United States, of course, Taiwan, the Swedish, the Spanish, Poland, the Netherlands, so it can be added even for the French, right? The Japanese, the Germans. So a lot of nations in the game could receive one version or another of a Patriot system, okay? And now with the multi-vehicle capability that we are having, wouldn't it be actually interesting to see this? Well, the funny part is that in one of the latest leaks that we had in the Discord, we actually had the S300, 400, the Buck, and the Patriot systems being leaked that they are going to be added this year. So although this LAMRAM is going to be the main AA system and the IRIS-T SLM, etc., the Patriot will probably be added very soon. How crazy is that? Well, not that crazy if you think about it. First of all, you have to think that these systems would be in a similar way used just like we had with the systems that we are having in the game. Of course, they are multi-vehicle systems, right? They have radar systems, control vehicles, launchers, etc. But at the end of the day, guys, these systems can be added with the creative like kind of freedom that Gaijin had of adding just the radar and the launchers, just like the IRIS-T would be. So we would have one vehicle that is the radar and another one that is the launcher. And why is that? Because these are trucks, normally semi-trucks that are used to carry the launcher, to carry the radars, and everything with that. So we can already have that possibility with that. But what about the actual missile? Is the missile too OP to be added? I gotta be honest, guys, yes and no at the same time. Because, of course, the SlamRam will not be that OP. But something like this would probably be the best, missile in the game. It would be the best, SAM system in the game, of course. But at the same time, it wouldn't be that different from stuff that we already have, but having more range, right? So, for example, there are some versions. I'm not going to get too much into each of the versions and everything, but initial versions, for example, can have more than 100 kilometers already of range, which is incredible. But at the same time, they are semi-active radar homing. So yeah, it's not that OP on the regards of guidance system. Later models, for example, that have active radar homing could still be defeated with flying low to the ground, right? And many of these ranges would be 105, 80 kilometers, stuff like that, depending on the variant. So yeah, it would be way better than anything that we have. But remember, these will be missiles that can be defeated. They are not impossible to defeat. Of course, the most modern ones, those are the ones that are kind of scary because they are dual modes, IR and radar, active radar homing. But at the end of the day, we don't need those for now, right? Like the Skyceptor, for example, uses something like that, right? But the older ones, the A model, for example, could just be added with the semi-active radar. It wouldn't be that OP, if I'm being honest. The speed that these missiles have is Mach 3.5. It is faster than the missiles that we have in the game, but it's around the same as the Panzer, okay? Of course, it has a longer burn time, so we will have a longer distance that it can cover, but it's doable. It's doable, okay? The radars are going to be similar from what we have. It's IASA radars and stuff like that, right? So, yeah, towed vehicles that are very, very similar to the vehicles that we are receiving with way better missiles. So, can we already jump to the Patriot? Well, they're not gonna do that anyway right now. And I think this LAMRAM is a good step up from the older systems that we have in the game, or all the other ones like the IRIS-T and stuff. But at the end of the day, we probably won't have to wait too much time to see these missiles. And it might feel like a big step, but it's not that big if you really think about it, okay? It's just like the F-117, it's just like the Comanche, it's like when they added the first 4th generations, the 4.5 generations. It's something that it's kind of scary for the meta, it's kind of scary sometimes for the actual usability of these missiles and stuff. But at the end of the day, guys, wouldn't it be more balanced if everybody can have something similar to this? Because everybody in the real world will have these the nations that we have in the game will have a similar system to this. So why not, right? So like I said, it was already leaked that it will come this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of patches, probably most likely in the last patch of the year, we will see the Patriot, and also in the same way, the S300, maybe the S400, the Buck system, everything with that. All of these systems, guys, they are not, I'm not saying that they're not going to be good. They're going to be amazing and the best AA systems in the game. But at the same time, we already have 2,000 plus year aircraft. So it's not like it's a whole brand new world here. We are already on par with these technology. We just need them to be added. And then, of course, if they are too OP, obviously, seed is always a thing that can happen, especially more modern seed against these AA systems. It can be very deadly as well, right? So, yeah, can we jump straight to the Patriot? Yes, we can, but I think it will take a little bit of time, up to the end of the year, probably, okay? So, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Patriot system. I might do another video talking about the S300 and everything, but yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, and see you guys. Bye.